So last time I made a video was on Animatic Battle's most underrated characters, and you guys in the comments seem to like that video and these kinds of videos in general, so I thought it would make sense to do another one. Hey guys, it's Barley and welcome back to the channel! Today we'll be talking about 6 overrated characters in the Animatic Battle series. Keep in mind this is obviously my opinion, so if you agree or disagree with something then feel free to discuss it in the comments. And lastly, these are in no particular order really, so this won't be a number list or least overrated to most overrated. So with that being said, let's jump into it! So before we get to our first character, I'd like to get a quick honorable mention to Notepad. Now, I don't think Notepad deserves their own section due to the simple reason as to why they're overrated, but in case you somehow don't know, Notepad got their own scene in episode 3 with B-Block, which caused him to get an unreal amount of fans and support. I mean, Notepad was all the talk when episode 3 came out, but most agree nowadays that Notepad is pretty overrated due to them being loved by fans for just one scene, as it is a bit much in my opinion. Anyway, I don't have much else to say about Notepad, I just wanted to talk about them real quick before we get to our actual list. Now, a disclaimer for all the characters discussed in this video, this isn't hating on them even though it may seem like it, and I'm simply stating why they are overrated. With that being said, be completely honest with me here. If you think about overrated characters in this show and Nonagon isn't the first thing that comes to your mind, then that's honestly completely fine. But even so, it should be the first thing. So yes, when talking about overratedness, it is no surprise that Nonagon is here, as I personally think they're the most overrated character in the show by far. And to this day, I will still never understand what is so hype around Nonagon. All they really do is just sit around smiling and occasionally say something in their loud booming voice. I really don't know why this has made everyone love Nonagon, and I still don't. I still like Nonagon, don't get me wrong, they have their moments, but damn, they are not that good. The only thing that I really like in Nonagon is the talk they had with Landscape in episode 2, but that's about it. The booming voice and design aren't too special for me, and I will never get why they got so many votes to be saved, and I never will. I feel bad for dissing Nonagon this much, but in reality they really don't do anything substantial to the show, besides maybe some occasional lines with a loud echo. Sorry Nonagon fans. So while not as overrated as most on this list, I can't help but find Eject pretty overrated. I can definitely see why you might like them, but I still don't think they're really top tier at all. Unlike Nonagon, Eject has done quite a bit for the series, such as policing around with Shifty and that whole argument with Doorstopper in episode 2, but I just think that isn't enough to place them no higher than low A tier or so. I mean, even you gotta admit, getting the most votes on Benjamin in episode 1 is a bit much. Anyhow, while I like their design quite a bit, the voice isn't really anything special to me honestly, and I've seen people sing their praises about it, but I still just don't get it. Besides the design, I honestly don't think Eject stands out too much compared to everyone else in the cast. However, there is a reason why I think they aren't too overrated compared to the others on this list, as there's definitely great qualities to Eject. I just think that they get a bit too much credit as a character. And this next one might upset some of you guys, but the third person we'll be talking about today is none other than Bowling Ball. As much as I enjoy Bowling Ball personally, even I have to admit he's pretty overrated for quite a few reasons. For one, the running joke of Bowling Ball's fanfares is loved by all including me, but be real guys, it's literally just Bowling Ball saying different things with a small music track each time. This has caused Bowling Ball to get loads of fans for a simple running joke that even though I find is funny, I still think it's a bit too hyped up. But even so, we all know that's not all to Bowling Ball, as episode 2 of Animatic Battle was Bowling Ball's fans' dream. So if you remember while Animatic was starting to kill off the Meatbills, Bowling Ball makes a last ditch effort to protect his friends and inevitably fails. However, this is what really set up Bowling Ball for success and get a ton of fans and support. But like I said with the fanfares, I can't help but feel like it's a bit too hyped up. I mean, even almost 5 months after the episode came out, there's still some die-hard Bowling Ball fans who will defend bro until they stop breathing. But seriously, I just don't get why everyone loves him so much when in reality, all he's done is the occasional running joke and attempt to save his teammates. So even though I still enjoy Bowling Ball a lot in my eyes, I'm definitely not afraid to admit that he is pretty overrated. Of course, we can't have an overrated list in Animatic Battle without putting good old Season 17 on the list. You can honestly make an argument about 17 being the most overrated character in the show, and while I still think it's Nonagon, I really wouldn't blame you. All 17 does is strut around with his loud, overbearing voice and confident ways and barge in on every situation possible. And yeah, that's really about it. Season 17 genuinely hasn't really done too much and is mostly there for comedic value. but characters that are there simply for comedy and jokes are usually loved by the audience, so that's why I think Season 17 is loved way too much by fans. I mean, think about it, what has he really added to the show outside of some really funny moments? In episode 1, he helps destroy Team Meatball's M. In episode 2, he hides in the hole with his teammates before eventually getting killed. And in episode 3, he appears for possibly less than a second. And despite all of this, he gets so much credit and appreciation. Look, I get it. I even think Season 17 can be pretty funny too, and I actually like him quite a lot. But it gets to a point where it's just ridiculous for how many defenders this blue guy has. So overall, Season 17 is honestly a pretty good character in terms of humor, but gets way too much love in turn. And just like Nonagon, what would be a classic overrated list when it comes to the show be without the legendary exclamation mark? Similar to Nonagon, he's always been loved by many from the start, and that's not without reason. He went through the iconic dehydration scene, saved Doorframe, and won the challenge for Papaya all in episode 1 alone. But episode 2 is definitely prime exclamation mark for one simple reason that we all know about: the fight with Animatic. Listen, don't get me wrong, everything that Exclamation has done prior was great, but this was really the icing on the cake for them. I would argue post episode 2 for the following month and a half after release, Exclamation was the most popular character in the show at that time. So with that being said, yeah, I never really got it that much. Listen, I definitely think they aren't as bad in terms of overratedness like Eject, but good lord, the amount of love I've seen for Exclamation is genuinely insane. I'm just gonna be honest here, I think there's quite a few other characters that are just outright better than him, and I don't think Exclamation is as good as the fans say. That's really about it for them, but I just think there's better characters than the exclamation mark. I will acknowledge that they probably have some of the most iconic moments in not just Animatic Battle, but in any show in the OSC, but I think it's hyped up a bit too much. I know it needs to be done, but I'm just not sure if I have the strength to do it. I really tried for my bias to not get in the way, but I just knew I had to put him on here. The last character we'll be talking about today is the one and only objectful winner and my personal favorite in the series, Kane's Cup. Okay, sad moment over, but yeah, that's right, even I'm not afraid to admit to my own faults every once in a while, because I just knew I had to put Kane's Cup on here. Let's just get this over with me. Why do I think Kane's is overrated? Well, I think it's because he has a personality that's incredibly likable, and he's a winner of his season, and we all know how winners of any show with seasons are. They get an unexplainable amount of love and support just because they won a competition. And this carried into Animatic Battle too. Everyone, including me, always gushes over Kane's Cup whenever he appears on screen, to the point where it's on levels of Nonagon and Season 17 levels of obsessed. While not directly being the reason of their team losing in episode 3, Kane's Cup definitely played a part of that, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because despite messing up in the show like that, Kane's Cup still gets a ton of votes and support that sometimes you have to question what is going through some people's heads. Anyhow, just like Bowling Ball or Nonagon, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kane's Cup is first or second safe on Object Fool, as he just has so many fans, like yours truly, and will always be loved no matter what due to his funny moments and personality, and being the season winner. This is why I think Kane's Cup is sadly overrated just a tiny bit. Wow, that just felt wrong saying that about my boy. But there you have it, guys. Those are my 6 characters that I personally find overrated in the show. Let me know what you guys think of my choices in the comments, as I do know this is going to be one of my more controversial videos I post during my time on YouTube, but even so, I still hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.